Hello everybody, it's the Bipolar Lesbian here for another little rundown of what's been going on in my life and how I've been handling it, which unfortunately wasn't too well. I was getting serious urges to self-harm again, intrusive thoughts. My medication really wasn't working well, so I consulted with my psychiatrist, who suggested I go inpatient for a new type of treatment I've never tried before, and that treatment was ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. Shock treatments. Not the type you see on American Horror Story or anything like that. Honest to God, I've had 3 treatments thus far. Friday, Monday, and Wednesday, I did treatments. The doctor is on vacation this week, so I have to wait till next week to resume maintenance treatments. I should get at least 3 to 5 more, and that should be the sweet spot for me. However, currently, getting out of the hospital, I was in there for 11 days. That sucked. Not too fun. I wouldn't recommend it, but at least I was a place that had smoke breaks, so that was kind of nice. But the ECT treatment, I will talk about that because I'm sure there are some people that have, some questions regarding it. And like I said, it's not like what you see in the movies, not like, any crazy things. I mean, they are zapping your brain and giving you a seizure. So there is that, but I am put under general anesthesia when I have the treatments, and of course that comes with its own risks, but I react perfectly to anesthesia. I've never had a reaction. I've had many surgeries. I had my lung removed. I've had my gallbladder removed. I've had everything that you think of. I'm done with this, and I'm not even 24 years old yet. How sad is that? But anyway, so the ECT treatment, I was warned. I talked to the doctor beforehand, and we discussed that I may have some temporary short-term memory loss, which the first treatment, I do not remember being taken back to the ECT suite. I remember waking up in the recovery bed, which I didn't realize was the recovery bed. I thought I was just there. I don't remember how I got there. And I'm kind of twiddling my thumbs, getting a little antsy, and I stop one of the nurses and I go, "So excuse me," I'm like, "when am I going to get my ECT treatment?" And she goes, "Honey, you're already done." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's a surprise." So I made it my duty, my absolute sworn duty, the next time I went in, that I was ready. I was ready to remember. So I remember being walked to the ECT room. I remember being placed on the gurney. I remember the IV being placed. The doctor's talking to me and saying, "Are you ready? And how you doing? Da da da." All good there. I remember the anesthesiologist getting the little pre-op cocktail, which is always so much fun to have. I love those pre-op shots. Just makes you feel so great for a while, and then you're out. So anyway, I remember him getting that ready and hooking it up to my port for my IV and asking me, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Let's go. We can do this." So he gave me the anesthesia, and I counted backwards from 10. I made it to about 3 before I was out. And then I wake up in the recovery. They put the IV on the side of my wrist here, and then on top of my hand. So I had 2 here, and then 1 here for the 3 treatments I had. Very uncomfortable positions for an IV. Just very, very annoying. But, excuse me. But, like I said, I remember it. I was showing such great improvement by the time Wednesday rolled around that they were like, "We are going to get you discharged on Thursday. We are going to get you out of here." So that was pretty cool. I had a little bit of short-term memory loss with some names of the individuals I was there with at the psych ward with. I know they call them behavioral health institute. It's a psych ward. My God, I mean, don't need to sugarcoat it. It sucks anyway. But I had a lot of thinking to do in there. A lot of self-reflection, and the ECT treatments have taken away, like I said, my urges to self-harm. I'm not mutilating myself. I'm not burning myself. Little things that I would do. Unfortunately, it got bad. It would be really bad at times. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll save it for another video, but I'm not sure if anyone wants to see. I've got tons of scars on my thighs here. Tons of them. I would get drunk and take a pocket knife to myself. That was how I did it, unfortunately. But those are gone. Those urges are gone right now. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm looking to hopefully enter back into society, slowly integrate myself with work, schooling, that kind of deal. I will see what I can do, but I don't want to go too fast, because if I know I go too fast, I'm going to screw myself up. I'm going to be miserable again, and it's just going to be a nightmare. So, yes, but ECT is nothing to be afraid of. My family was very worried that I was going to come back a vegetable, per se, not remembering things or forgetting faces or having severe memory impairment. However, as noted within this video and my actions as I've gotten home, I am absolutely fine, and I have no residual side effects from the treatment. So that's pretty amazing. The doctors were absolutely wonderful. I will share a funny little story. At least it was funny to me. Haha. Funny to me, I guess. The first night I arrived at the facility, the doctor, very odd for a psychiatrist to do this, but he was still there at about, let's see, he was there at 8 o'clock when I finally got back up to the ward. I was in registration for 7.5 hours. That was hell. But I got up to the ward and I talked to him about it and told him all my medications and blah blah blah, and he knew I was in there for ECT. So he thought that my medications had already been taken care of, so he didn't write any orders for me. Well, I've been on a benzo for over 7 years of my life now because of my extreme anxiety. I need it twice a day as a maintenance dose to make sure I'm not jumping out of my own skin. So that night I slept probably 3 hours. I was sweating. I had stomach cramps. I was just feeling absolutely terrible. And so finally the next day I couldn't stand it anymore. I went to my nurse and I told her, I'm like, look, I feel like total dog shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with me, you know? And she's like, have you had any medications here? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I didn't get my dose yesterday night, this morning, my afternoon dose. I'm like, I didn't get any of my medications. And so she's like, tell me all the things you're on. So I told her I'm on lithium, I'm on Zyprexa, I'm on gabapentin, propranolol for my tachycardia, and a alprazolam, Xanax, for anxiety. And she was like, oh honey, she goes, you're in withdrawals. She goes, that's what's going on right now with you. And I'm like, I don't abuse the medication. How can I be in withdrawals? And she's like, because you've been on it for 7 years. Your body was used to it. So that was funny. So she, very sweet lady. Her name was Debbie. I'm gonna write, I say it in the video, so hopefully I remember her name going forward. There's a couple texts as well that I really want to give credit to. Fantastic. If you're in Arizona, Aurora Behavioral Health, Great place. But anyway, so my nurse, after I told her that and she let me know that I was withdrawing, she called up the doctor to get me a stat order of 10 milligrams of Valium, which helped tremendously, and I actually got some sleep. And then the next day I talked to the doctor. He wrote me all my prescriptions. So, you know, things happen. I wasn't upset. It wasn't the doctor's fault. It was just a miscommunication. I do think he should have checked with me before he just sent me off after we met the first time. But it ended well. That's all I care about. But yeah. Please let me know if you'd like me to answer any more questions regarding the ECT. I'd be more than happy to answer anything that you have to throw at me, even if they're kind of picky, negative, things like might be like misconstrued, like some people might get offended or something by a question. I'm not that type of person. I don't get offended. So please, ask me anything you'd like, and I'd be more than happy to cover it in another video at all. Whether it's questions on ECT, medications, being in a psychiatric facility for a long time, ask me. More than happy to answer. And I thank you all for listening and watching this video. And I wish you nothing but peace to you. Have a good one. This is Bipolar Lesbian, and I am signing out. Bye.